So how's your journey so far after the procedure?
So far, so good. My name is James. I traveled here to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia from Vancouver, Canada. I was very concerned about my hair loss, and I've got a lot of different friends who've gone to a lot of different places in the world. Living in Canada, it's a bit of a journey for me to go to Turkey, but that's where a lot of people have seemed to go lately. It seems to be sort of a concentrated zone of hair transplants, etc. Mexico has captured a bit of the North American market by taking some Turkish doctors and other doctors and putting them near the Cancun, Playa del Carmen area, also near Tulum. I looked into doing that as well because it's a much shorter flight for me, and the doctors seem okay. So I wanted cheap accommodations. I wanted to go somewhere where there's a doctor that's actually involved in the procedure, not just technicians, and I wanted proper aftercare. I learned about GLOJAS Clinic from my friend Sebastian, who had gone to Turkey, and he was one of many stories that I have heard through personal friends where they have gone there because there's so many people coming in and out, and it's hard to actually pick a clinic because there are so many. They seem to just sort of bring people in and then chew them up and then spit them out. I've seen many cases where people have come home dissatisfied with the service. They go on a long trip, they get poor aftercare, and they end up with a lot of scarring. From what I've seen, it's a lot of technicians with very low doctor involvement. The doctor might just come in and draw the line on their head and then bye, he leaves. And then the technicians come in, they complete the job, and then the patient is just gone. Like I mentioned, my friend Sebastian, he went to Turkey. He had a hair transplant done, and he got really bad swelling and really bad scarring on the back of his head from his donor area. He is a very smart graduate at UBC in Vancouver, where I come from, and he went on a journey looking for someone to repair the damage that had been done. And that's how he found Dr. Jas. I was speaking to him and some of my other friends, and I was also worried about the same thing because once the donor area, if it's destroyed, you have problems. You're going in the future, you get a short haircut, it looks awful. I didn't want any of that stuff. I wanted a nice clean job. Looking at my options, I didn't know that Malaysia would even be an option. I looked at his pictures, I heard his story, I talked to some of my other friends, so I ran through 3 or 4 of the top rated Turkish clinics, their doctors and their procedures. I also did the same with the hair in Mexico. There was 2 clinics there. I ran their procedures and their doctors. And then I also ran Dr. GLOJAS here in Malaysia. Their surgical techniques, doctor involvement, and then also bang for the buck is a term we use in Canada, where you get the most out of your money. Parameters were accommodations, money for airfare travel out of Canada, as well as my specifications for the doctor involvement and the best clinic and the overall price, etc. It came back with the GLOJAS clinics actually at #1 on top. Secondary to that was Mexico, and below that was actually Turkey, and I ran, like I said, I ran through 3 or 4 of the top clinics there, and the GLOJAS clinic came out on top. So after looking at some of my friends have gone through with poor experiences in Turkey, and then looking at what happened with my friend Sebastian also having a poor experience in Turkey, and how Dr. Jas was able to actually reverse the treatment. He pulled hair out of him and put it back in his donor area, from what I understand, fixed him up, and then had him come back a second time. And I've seen Sebastian's results, and he looked amazing. That sort of sealed the deal for me. Even travel-wise, it was a longer journey to get here, but I much rather prefer coming to Malaysia. It's a beautiful country, amazing food. My experience here has been amazing. The people, the whole experience here has been amazing. Dr. GLOJAS is very friendly, very accommodating, hangs out, listens, talks to me. Staff technicians are all amazing, friendly. Everyone's very hospitable. Everything went seamless. I had no worries. There was no language barrier at all, which I found was a big problem trying to call into the Turkish clinics and speak with them. It seemed like they were just trying to sell me a used car. They wouldn't really answer my questions when I was asking about the technique, procedures, what was going to be going on. They just kept spitfiring what seemed like regurgitated sales stuff. They just kept talking to me about maximum graft and the shuttle from the airport, and I didn't really care about that stuff. I wanted to make sure that I felt comfortable talking to someone that seemed real, that was going to give me a good job. And when I called the staff here, gave me more than enough information, not even just about the transplant, what will happen when I'm here afterwards, everything. It's been flawless from start to finish, and I'm very happy with my experience here so far. This is the type of procedure that you don't want to be doing over and over again, and I have friends that have had to do it twice, sometimes even 3 times, because they've had a poor job. And every time you do that, you're decreasing the amount of donor hair that you have available for transplant, and it's a big trip, it's expensive. I personally wouldn't want to risk infection or having to go back a second time, or like my friend Sebastian, having to potentially reverse and then done again. It's just not worth it. Choosing a good clinic like this one and things, make your way out here. Yeah, from what I understand, hair loss is hereditary from your mother's side from what I've looked into. I never really thought I was going to lose a ton of hair. I thought maybe it was starting to thin a little bit on the sides as I started to reach my mid-20s. I took a bit of finasteride, about 10 years. I wasn't sure if it was even doing anything. It just kind of looked the same. I got off it for about 4 or 5 years. Things seemed to be the same, and then all of a sudden I reached the age of 41. Very quickly, my hairline started to recede backwards, and I also started to notice a slight amount of thinning in the middle and some on the back. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do from that point, so I just kind of grew my hair a little bit longer. I switched to styling it with a dry gel so that it didn't stick the hair together, because you could start to see that it was thinning. And I fought it off as long as I could until eventually I decided to shave my head. Once I did that, I felt awful. I didn't like the way I looked in the mirror. I had friends who were supportive and they said, oh, it looks great, but I didn't like it. I could see the dark areas where the hair was still coming in full when the head was shaved, and then I could see areas that were much less shiny. So I felt very aged, felt different. I wore a hat all the time. Going to a wedding, going out business, wearing a suit, I didn't feel the same. I didn't feel young and sharp. I can't wear a hat doing stuff like that. I made the decision that I wanted to get a hair transplant, and that's when I started looking into where I can go to get the procedure done. Well, what I'm hoping from the hair transplant is to obviously get a little bit of confidence back, which for a man, it can be devastating to go bald or to start having thinning hair. So I'm hoping to have that confidence come back, hoping to look like my old self again, have beautiful hair, get haircuts, look sharp, look professional, and not feel so aged. I'm hoping that with this transplant that will start to come back. Also, speaking with Dr. Jas, we did a photo density look at my scalp and realized that there is a lot of follicles that are still there. There's tons, there's thousands that are sitting there, but the hair was barely breaking the surface. He has advised me of some other methods I can use, such as PRP that was provided here at the clinic. I was anticipating that the procedure itself might be painful. I knew I'd be awake. I thought that with the local anesthetic, the lidocaine, that it would be wearing off and I would end up feeling pain here and there, and that they would have to keep topping it up. Dr. Jas had a nice solution that he's come up with to stop bleeding and to stop the pain, and he uses that procedure to numb it quite well to get started and during. So I literally felt no pain. Thank you to the GLOJAS Clinic. Thank you, Dr. Jas. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, everybody, all the technicians and everybody I met, from the front desk staff all the way to the top floor. You made my stay here amazing. My treatment went well. I'm super happy with what's happened so far. I'm sad to leave, but I can't wait to tell everybody about the clinic and have all my friends come here too. You did an amazing job. Thank you.
Okay, so do send us the progress. We would like to follow up with you. All right?
Sounds good.